Am I too loud? No. Wow, for a change. Okay. So, so you know me as a co-organizer of GDG Bronx, Northeast Mentor. I'm a full-time faculty at Lehman College, City University in New York. And before then, I spent over a decade at IBM. I spent some time at Cornell Well Medical Center, some startups, a few different places, let's say. So like many of you, I have a pretty long career, and I've been on many interviews on both sides of the table. So I really want to hear your input as well so that we can add to the catalog of hints and tips on nailing the tech interview, okay? So this is comprised of tips from people I've met, okay? My own personal experience, my professional experience, and the people that have either interviewed me or I've interviewed, okay? Got to make sure I work the clicker right. Before the interview. Now, whether it's a technical interview or any other interview, what do you need to do? You need to prepare, right? So you need to prepare your resume, you need to prepare your skills, you need to craft your cover letter, you need to research the company, you need to research the interviewer if possible. We don't always know that detail. And then you start to apply, right? So what do you do when you're polishing your resume, okay? You highlight what is unique about you because you will be applying for positions that so many other people, just like yourself, will be applying for. So make sure to use impactful words, if possible, metrics, percentages, how whatever project or role you took on changed the team, the company for the better, whether it was cost or time that you were able to save. Cover letter. Optional, right? No, no, not optional. What does it say when you're told, oh, you can do this if you want to, and then you don't do it? It says that that's probably how you're going to behave in the work environment. When something is optional, you're not going to go the extra mile. So please, go the extra mile, craft a cover letter for the position that you want to get. You want to nail your dream job, okay? Online profile, LinkedIn, GitHub, Facebook. Why am I mentioning Facebook? That's more for your social, right? You need to be careful with your privacy settings. Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Whatever, fill in the blank, okay? If they Google you and they see that you intended for your best buddy and doesn't really reflect who you are professionally, you don't want it to be seen. GitHub, if you have any cool projects, update, put it there, put it there, put it there, put it there, however small or however large. LinkedIn, you can customize it, takes quite a while, but go for it. Make sure your photo is appropriate, number one, right? Make sure that you use that summary at the top as best possible to define who you are. You can use some hashtags, you can list out the places that you have worked, and such forth. So study intensely, right? You never know when you're going to get that interview. What does that mean? Practicing your problem solving. And we'll go through certain resources that I can make available to you from people that have told me about some actions that were developed, and things like that, right? And some articles, how you can practice, right? Practice your programming, your problem solving, research the company, research the interview. Online resume submissions. Here I'm going to ask you a question. Take a guess. And those of you who know the answer because you have attended this talk before, feel free to scream it out, okay? So what percent do you think of online resumes get invited for an interview? 5%. I like that one. Okay, so it's actually 2%. That's really bad, right? That's really, really bad. Now, how do you optimize your resume, okay? Well, one thing is make sure that you don't have typos or missing spaces. If you look online, there was a space missing in my own bio for today, right? My fault, though. My fault. I copy-pasted incorrectly. But make sure that the job that you're applying for, let's say if 50% of the requirements are met by you, go for it. If it's 45%, don't really go for it, okay? Explanation. Bullet explanations of each project that you've worked on. I did this, it saved that. I was using XYZ tool, okay? This way you are listing out your different projects, your skills, what tools you might know, including the keywords, without having this whole skills, bullet, 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 bullet. Nobody wants to read that. You won't read it, I won't read it, they won't read it. Nobody's gonna read it, okay? Do I have to hit play again? I don't hear it, but this is what it might feel like sometime when you're going through the online submission problem.
And would like a live operator to assist you. Press 0 now. If not, this recording will begin again. Welcome to Irv's World of Junk.
Have you ever felt like that when applying online? Like it's like over and over and over and over and over and over. You just can't find the energy to apply for another position that, oh man, it seems so interesting. I really, really want to apply. I want to get this position. I want to nail it. But you don't even have the energy. You haven't even gotten called for an interview. You haven't applied, and you're done. Okay? So how do we beat the bots and reach a human? How do we get our resume across so we can actually get called for an interview, okay? I'm gonna wake you up a little bit. You have that lunch lag, so do I, all right? So help me out with a show of fingers, okay? What does ATS stand for? 1 finger for Automated Tracking System, 2 fingers for Automatic Transcribing Source, 3 fingers for Applicant Tracking System. 1, 2, 3. Almost everybody. Okay, so 3. Okay, applicant tracking system. And if you got it wrong, who cares, right? It's about learning. Beating the bots some more, okay? What is the preferred file type for the ATS, applicant tracking system, right? When you are submitting your resume online? 1, doc or text. 2, PDF. 3, JPEG or PNG. And I can give you a little bit of a hint, right? The preferred file type for ATS is different from the preferred when sending via an email, especially if sending via email to somebody you're not sure if they might modify. So 1, 2, or 3, who says doc or text for the ATS? Who says PDF? And who says JPEG or PNG? All right, so we don't know which ATS, if it's new or old, will be trying to read through our resume. Therefore, we should be using number 1, doc or text. Some ATS cannot read through a PDF and pull out the keywords, cannot digest, let's say, okay, or analyze. More beating the bots. Because submitting online is different from submitting a hard copy, right? Which elements should be included in your resume? Tables, columns, charts, number 1. 2, images, or 3, none of the above? Somebody put 5. Yes, I like that. Okay, so none of the above, right? Internationally, it's customary to put images. In the US, we don't put images, but none of the above. And the reason we shouldn't put tables, columns, and charts is, again, because of the ATS. There are other ways of using formatting tools, whether it is Google Docs, and you're clicking on the ruler to do the indentation, or, yeah, I was going to say the Microsoft Word, or I'm going to say, yeah, or I'll say Pages. I have to list them all, right? Or whatever other word processor you're using to create your resume. So which elements should be included in your resume when you're submitting online? In the document's header. Name, contact info. This is the last of the 4, don't worry, okay? We're moving on from the 4th question. Both 1 and 2, so name and contact info, that's number 3, right? Or nothing. Header is not the same as heading, okay? So 1, name, 2, contact info, 3, both name and contact info, 4, nothing. In the header, nothing. All right, I see a lot of 4s, good. The reason is that header is not going to be read. And if you separate out your content into header and body and you put your name, because we all want our name, right? We don't want our name to get lost. So don't put in the header. It only reads through the body. Header, footer, nope. All right, beating the bots. What's another way to really beat the bots? Humans. Number 1 way to beat bots is through humans, okay? Over 30% of hires actually occur through networking. We're already here, we already have met a lot of people, we know each other, we organize meetups, we meet more people, we help others find more humans. All right, so go to meetups, attend conferences, talk to friends, build connections on social media, humans as well, right? Okay, let's go to the humans. We still need to impress them because if we're gonna nail that interview, we first have to get an interview. That's where the before is gonna end soon, okay? No time to waste. We get our resume to a human. 6 seconds. In 6 seconds or less, that person has decided whether they want to continue reading and possibly call us in if they finish reading and they see that we're a good match, or throw out our resume, right? So we need to be very careful about what we put on our resume. Use a professional summary if possible, 2 or 3 lines of who you are, what you've done, and where you're heading. And then all your bullets out. All right, great. Somebody actually liked our resume. We have an interview. When is it? Tomorrow? Uh-oh, yay, uh-oh, yay, uh-oh, yay. Isn't that what happens? Anytime you've gotten called for an interview, what has been your reaction? Yes! No? That's been mine. Okay. All right, so keep calm. You're in the 2%. Try to get a good night's sleep. All right, plan out your commute because you never know what might happen last minute. Prepare your attire so you're not scrambling. And well, print your resume even if they have a soft copy. We know what goes wrong with technology. Okay? So during your interview, this is where things start really getting important to us, right? We have a finite amount of time, not just in a day, but especially in an interview. And based on all our groggy faces, mine included, we know that, right? So during your interview, you really want your interviewer, your interviewing team, to understand who you are professionally, what differentiates you from others. There may be other people, not maybe, definitely other people with your skills, but there's 1 or 2 things that really set you apart, whether it's particular skill, something you've worked on, or personality that makes you mesh better with that team. Bless you. How will you best support their team, okay? Important. And why are you the ideal candidate? Why do they want you? When you're available to start is also very important, unless you decide that you don't want the job. You never know. Happens, especially later on in your career. All right, great. So you did all this planning. You're ready. Now it's time to implement, time to act. But interviews, just like anything in life, don't always go as planned. And some go well, others not so well. I'm going to tell you a story about 3 people that I know. Their names and faces have been changed to protect them. But I'd like you to meet Alberto, okay? Alberto went in an interview. He did fantastic on the technical questions, whiteboarding, sample coding. However, after a few interactions with his interviewers and still doing okay during the behavioral portion, he was asked this question, a very typical question of, why do you want to work for our XYZ company? He answered, it's not that I want to work for your company in particular. I'm serious. I'm not. Like, this is what he answered. And the second that came out of his mouth, okay? That's what he did, okay? Just like I would do, just like you would do. So we can't fix things that come out of our mouths sometimes, but we can prevent them from occurring next time, right? I'd also like you to meet Ben, all right? Ben, unlike Alberto, he didn't say that he didn't want to work for that company. He did very well in the behavioral portion, but didn't do so well in the technical portion. It's not that he didn't know the content, it's just that when he was asked a question and given a problem that he was trying to solve, he froze. Totally froze. Didn't have an answer, couldn't think. Instead of trying to ask questions of his interviewer to possibly get the thinking going, he just stood there. And that is something that can really break your chances, ruin your chances. So Ben was not very happy either. Catalina, okay? Catalina, unlike her friends, did better in the behavioral portion. She didn't say she didn't want to work for that company. She said, I want to work for this company because I've done this, that, and the other on my project at that company, and I think it will match with your goals very well. I want to work for your company because I see that you are interested in proceeding with this technology, and I also am interested in proceeding with this technology. This is how I will add value. She was able to solve her problems without any struggle. She showed thorough understanding of the technical concepts, asked appropriate questions, and let her interviewers know that she was interested in following up. Oh, when might I hear from you? Anyways, the only thing that Catalina didn't do well was accentuate her talent enough. She could have done more on the sense of, this is what I did this project, drill into details and things like that. She didn't, so she wasn't very happy with that. She ended up getting the job that she wanted in the end, but it was a little iffy until it happened. So Alberto, Ben, and Catalina, they teamed up, they prepared themselves in the process to improve their chances of landing their dream job. What did they work on? They worked on communication. They worked on whiteboarding. They worked on working the clock, which, as I'm being told, I need to work the clock, right? And they worked on selling themselves. So I will speed it up. During the interview, body language, as we know, is very important. Empathy, showing that you can relate to others, is very important. Come on, click. Succinctness, being able to say what you want in a short amount of time clearly. Listening, because if you haven't heard the question, you will not be able to answer it. Respect and friendliness. Don't go hugging your interviewer and pounding them and giving them high fives. We're not at a GDG summit, right? We're at an interview. So follow their lead. Not everybody likes to shake hands. But if they offer it, shake it. And we know our superhero pose, right? Don't do it during the interview, but maybe in the bathroom or beforehand or internally. Confidence. Whiteboarding. Here's some do's and don'ts. Don't assume anything without confirming. Don't silently solve or get stuck. Don't ignore interviewer hints. Once you have landed an interview, your interviewer really wants to succeed. They're taking time out. It costs money to have them be with you, and they will offer you hints. Don't argue with them. Again, they want you to succeed. Don't forget to test your code for mistakes after you've written it. Right? I only test in production. Okay. Don't just go, I'm done. It's like, yes, but you missed something. Oh, man. So don't write too big or too small. And this is for people that are like me. I can never reach the top. So tiptoe, if you can. Stretch it out, because if you start in the middle, you don't have much room to work, and it gets very confusing, because you have to go on. I have 2 minutes? I had 4 before, okay. All right, so do's. Confirm you understand the question by repeating it to the interviewer. Not if they ask you what your name is. We know that, okay? What's my name? Okay. Clarify any assumptions. Yes, we want to do that. Work through an example. Draw a picture first, if possible. Then write out your code. Explain in steps. Explain what you're doing as you're doing. Brute force. First approach, just get something done, and then improve on it. It also shows that you know how to improve your solutions. Write clean code, not gibberish as possible, if possible, and step through with test cases. Working the clock, time is limited, just like it is here on the stage. Be concise and deliberate. Highlight past achievements, tying them into the role that you're applying for. And show sample work if you can. If you can. You can't always show sample work due to NDA, due to the fact that they don't want to see it at that point. Go dressed for the part. Yes, most of the time, you're hearing lately that it doesn't matter what you wear. It still does matter, okay? It still does matter. So dress the part. Share your strengths, quantify your achievements, ask questions, show interest. Prepare a 30-second pitch. What does that mean? You're not selling a product, but you are selling yourself, right? So who you are, where you're from, what you've done, and what you're looking to accomplish. And we survived the interview, okay? Almost done. You're going to survive the talk, and then we have another one, all right? Time to follow up. It's very important. Don't forget to follow up. Don't forget to thank your interviewers. If possible, thank each one of them individually if you have their contact info. If not, through the recruiter, HR, whoever it is that you did have contact with, using the same means of contact that you were initially discussing with them. Let's say if it was through LinkedIn, through LinkedIn. If it were through email, once upon a time, through snail mail, right? Personalize the emails. Don't have one that you're going to send to everybody because they will probably all say the same thing, and that doesn't look good. If you can use some detail from the interview that you can pick out to personalize it, please do so. And because you should be asking when you expect to hear from them, try to use that in your follow-up email. Oh, I look forward to hearing from you again next week. That'll tie them to the next week and allow you to kind of give them a reminder if that week has passed and say, hi, it's me, I'm just following up. However awkward it may feel, sometimes it's a good idea to do that because you want to know where things are going. That week seems like an eternity. So here we're putting it all together. I do have resources that I can share with you to do a one-stop shop studying, and I can provide them to you at happy hour, stuff like that. This way, I'm not taking up too much time, because I think I'm over by like 2 minutes, right? OK. Thank you, and good luck.